My name is Kelly Sumich and I'm the Director of the Sports Science Education Institute. So today I'm briefly going to talk to you about the physical differences you need to consider when designing training programs for children. So one of the physical differences with children is that they have growth plates in their bones. So what happens is their bones, not until late teenage age or early 20s, become fully fused. So what happens is you need to kind of design a training program which doesn't provide high impact, high intensity exercises continuously in one like body part, putting strain on the particular bones, which can cause growth plate injuries. So what we suggest is when you design training programs for children is high impact exercises are fantastic for children's bone growth, but what we do is get them to do a particular exercise, for example skipping, which is on the lower body for a short period of time, and then swap it to an upper body exercise which is putting more pressure on the upper body, but it's giving the lower body a bit of a rest. So we suggest that you kind of like alternate lower upper body exercises for children to help reduce the risk of growth plate injuries. We also look at children suffer from heat and cold stress far more than adults. What happens is, so if you're training children and they're in a cold environment or they're swimming, for example, once they hop out of the water, go let them get changed directly straight away into warm clothing and then talk about what's happening for the rest of the next session or information about that sort of thing, so that they're in warm clothes and they're not standing around shivering. Children also suffer from heat stress as well. Their sweat mechanisms haven't fully developed. So what we suggest you do is if you're training children in the heat, try and take them to a shaded area or like have a little water fight with them or something like that so that they're cooling down. So you just need to take these aspects into consideration because you might not notice it as an adult, but children are more susceptible to heat and cold stress. Children also don't have the aerobic and anaerobic systems developed to the same extent as adults. So what children are more are suited to, it's more intermittent exercise, so short, sharp activities and then a rest period. So unlike, let's say you're teaching a body pump class which goes for like 45 minutes to an hour and there's a couple of drink stops in between, you don't kind of train children to the same extent like that. What you would do is you'd group children together and you'd have one child or a couple of children exercising and the rest of the children resting, and then they swap around. So you need to consider and think about how you're going to add more rest elements into the training program for children. The other thing is children's nervous system hasn't fully developed yet, so it's important like their coordination and understanding and appreciate that their coordination will kick in and also at different rates to other children. So don't panic and tell parents not to panic. Their nervous system and the coordination will kick in later down the track. Basically what else we suggest is obviously children's attention span is a lot shorter than adults, so keep your instructions short, simple, and you'll also need to add a lot more exercises and change into your training program for children as opposed to adults. And the last things you need to think about is unlike adults training program, with children your programs will also need to be more focused on developing their motor skills, so jumping, hopping, skipping, sidestepping, leaping. So instead of like thinking with adults, you might be thinking about like weight loss, toning, strength training, hypertrophy. With children, your one of your major focuses is developing their fundamental motor skills, so then that they can go on and play sport. So you'll be thinking about how to improve their hopping, the jumping, the skipping, those sort of elements into a training program as well. So once you've thought about all those things, that helps with designing training programs for children as opposed to adults. If you require any more information, the Sports Science Education Institute have a number of resources to help you design training programs for children and becoming aware of all those elements. Okay, so thank you very much.